Namaste. Happy dark moon, happy new moon. I'm so excited that you're here. Today we'll be doing a restorative practice that is all about doing less, do less, rest more, empty out, cultivating this sort of emptiness, this fertile void from which we can bring new energy into this next new lunar cycle. So tomorrow we'll start working a little bit with Sankalpa. If you're just finding this video, this is part of a 5-day restorative immersion that myself and my co-director of the School of Living Yoga, Tiina, are hosting together. So I'll post some information below. You can join anytime. You can go through at your own pace. So I'll post some information below if you'd like to join, as well as information around props if you want to buy new props. I think I've mentioned a few times to those of you in the challenge, I have a special code for you guys for 15% off any restorative props that you'd like to purchase for yourself at this time. And I'm excited to dive into this practice with you all today. So I'll see you on your mat for this new moon restorative yoga session. In today's practice, we will actually be using a chair, or you can set yourself up near a couch or somewhere where you will be able to put your legs up a chair, and we'll use a pillow for behind the head. We'll be laying down today in supine position, a strap nearby. If you don't have restorative yoga props, there are lots of other things that you can use, and I also have links below for any props that you might like to purchase for your own home restorative practice. There's an eye pillow, which is optional. You can also just use a scarf, anything that can comfortably cover the eyes. And then a folded blanket I have as well. I'll just put that nearby. And then a bolster. So we'll begin today's practice in a supine position. What I've done is I've layered a couple of yoga mats and a folded blanket on top for the most comfort, and then my pillow here. So we'll meet. You can pause this if you need to go get your props and set everything up. And you might like to bring some incense or a diffuser if you diffuse oils. You might like to put on some gentle music in the background, anything to help you get comfortable. You might like to dim the lights in the space that you're in. And then meeting in supine position on the mat. So laying all the way down, taking a moment to get the pillow comfortable behind the head. And then keeping the knees bent here and placing both hands on the belly, closing down the eyes. And let's begin just by feeling the support of the earth beneath the body, the natural movement of breath beneath the hands, so feeling the breath in the belly. And let's begin by releasing some of the muscles in the face, the jaw, the tongue, and bringing a natural and gentle encouragement to the breath in the belly, so letting the breath expand in all directions like a balloon. And just releasing, letting go on the exhale. And let's do a couple more breaths like that, just feeling the expansion of the inhale. And releasing, let yourself be effortless. Feel your head heavy. Letting go into the earth. At your own pace, just a few more breaths like this. And we've spent the last couple of days releasing and letting go, doing some mental and emotional decluttering, emptying out. And we'll continue to really welcome that emptying process here as we land on this day of the dark moon. So you might think of this time similarly to the winter solstice, that phase of turning inward, slowing down, hibernating, a phase of deep rest and recuperation. As the hibernation phase brings a time of rest and digest, allowing tissues to regenerate, the body to go into states of healing. It's a time for our nervous systems to wind down and completely reboot. And this time of the dark moon, Amavasya, is also the time in the lunar cycle when the veils are the thinnest, where the higher self has the ability to bring more intuitive wisdom in the most easeful way if we get quiet and introspective. It's a time to allow all aspects of ourselves to be dormant and empty. Releasing any of the wants, needs, to-do lists. Resting into the simplicity of being. Just simply being and simply resting is enough here now. And that emptying out, that letting go, becomes a vacuum to invite new things into our lives as we move back towards the waxing phase. So might you allow yourself just to rest here for the next couple of breaths. Feeling the body breathing itself. And then let's take 3 letting go breaths, inhaling through the nose. Exhale, letting go. Inhaling through the nose, deep breath. Exhale through the mouth, letting go. And one more deep breath like this. And begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes. And let your arms come out to the sides in a T position or a cactus position. And allow the knees to start swaying from side to side. So if your feet are close together, you might walk your feet a little farther apart. And then just letting your knees move gently from side to side. You might coordinate this movement gently with your breath, inhaling knees up to the sky, exhaling, letting knees fall to one side, inhaling, center, and exhaling to the other side. Feeling a gentle massage on the back of the body. Allowing yourself to be really slow, restful, and effortless through each movement. The next time that the knees draw to center, pausing here and hugging knees one by one into the chest and bringing hands to support the legs. And then on the inhale, let your knees draw away from each other, feeling a stretch in the inner thighs, and then exhale to circle the knees back in towards the center. So inhaling to circle the knees away from each other, exhaling to center. Closing the eyes, doing one or two more in this direction, and then switching the direction of the circles. The next time that you draw your knees in towards the center, pausing here to extend both arms and legs up to the sky, and then begin to rotate the ankles and the wrists ever so gently. Gentle circles in the ankles and the wrists. You might imagine that you could breathe into the ankles and the wrists. So closing through the eyes. Imagining you could send the breath into these regions of the body and then reversing direction of the circles. Letting the torso and the hips, the shoulders be heavy. The head and the jaw heavy. One more deep breath here. Slowly bringing the knees back into the chest on the exhale. And then interlacing fingers on top of the right knee, letting your left foot come down to rest on the mat. And then inhale to flex the right foot. Exhale to point the right toes. Continuing in this way. If it's more comfortable for you to extend your left leg long, you can also extend your left leg long. Whatever is most comfortable for your low back. Inhaling to flex the foot, exhaling to point the toes. Slow and gentle movements begin to circle your knee round and round, or sway the knee from side to side. Whatever feels intuitively right for your body in the moment. So you might be swaying the knee over to the right and then over to the left, or you might circle the knee. Closing through the eyes and just noticing what feels most therapeutic for your leg and your hip joint. And the next time that the knee passes through center, pausing here and bringing the hands behind the leg as you extend the leg up to the sky. So you might interlace your fingers behind your right leg here, or you might simply grip onto the leg and then flexing the foot, taking 2 or 3 deep breaths here. The eyes are open, just closing the eyes, taking one more deep breath. And then releasing the leg down. And bringing your right foot onto the earth or extending the right leg, whichever feels best for you. So either both knees bent or both legs extended. And just take a moment to notice what feels different from your right side leg to your left side leg. Noticing the difference. And if the legs are extended, bending both knees slowly, one by one. And then bringing the left knee into the chest, interlacing fingers on top of the shin or the knee. Option to keep your right knee bent, or you can extend the right leg long. And then inhale to flex the left foot. Exhale to point the toes. Closing the eyes, just taking a couple of moments to move with your breath. Deep yogic breaths as you explore this movement. And the next time that you point the toes, pausing here, let your foot relax, and then either circling the knee or letting your left knee sway from side to side. And again, could you make this a meditation in motion by moving with your breath? So you might inhale to one side, and exhale over to the other side. Noticing a gentle massage for the back of the body. And the next time that the knee comes to the center, bringing hands onto the back of the leg, extending your left leg up high to the sky. You might interlace your fingers behind the thigh and then flexing the foot here. Just 2 or 3 deep breaths. You might imagine you could breathe into the back of your leg. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Slowly bending the knee. Very, very gently lowering the leg. And then option to bend both knees or extend both legs, whatever feels right. And again, just a momentary pause to notice sensations flowing through the legs. Feeling sensations from right to left, left to right. And we're going to come into our restorative posture. So taking a moment to come onto one side of the body, coming to a fetal position. Taking a deep breath here. And then very slowly pressing up. You might extend your top leg, pressing into the hand. And we'll begin to set up our restorative posture. So bringing the chair nice and close. And we'll bring the pillow and the blanket, if you have a blanket, that's optional, over to the side. The bolster is going to go right up onto the chair to create a spot for the legs to rest. And this strap is going to come around the legs. So if you're not familiar with a strap or you don't have a strap, you can also use a scarf, and I'll show you how we're going to tie it around the legs. So with the strap, you loop it through both and then back through the second, and then you just sort of make sure it's nice and tight there. And then we'll bring it around the thighs just above the knees and then tighten it up to a comfortable position. Some people, if you have a second bolster, you might like to put it right here or a pillow right here to place the sacrum on. So you can also use a folded blanket and place that there for just a little bit of added cushion for beneath the sacrum. I didn't bring one along with me, so I'm gonna just put my pelvis on the ground. I'm going to bring my pelvis up nice and close to the chair and then bring my pillow along with me so that I can swing my legs up to rest on top. Now I'm not quite as close as I'd like, so I'm going to actually sort of wiggle myself a little closer so that I'm feeling fully supported here. Again, I'll take a moment with my props. I'll move my pillow to be completely supported behind my head, and then making sure that my legs feel completely supported by the bolster. My pelvis feels like it's in the right position so that this feels completely effortless, and making sure that my strap feels nice and tight and my legs feel supported, that I can just sort of relax my legs. For me today, I think I'll take this folded blanket and just place it on top of my belly for a little bit of weight, a little bit of added weight onto my belly. And then I'm going to actually take this eye pillow and place it on top of my eyes. If you have an eye pillow, you might do the same. And then I'm just going to release my arms down into a comfortable position. Taking a breath here. Notice if there's anywhere that you could adjust, making your body even more comfortable here. So you might take those little adjustments now, knowing that it's worth the extra effort to get completely comfortable here. Now we're going to be here for a little while, so know that for some people, restorative inversions are only beneficial for a couple of minutes. So if at any point you feel the urge to release this posture, any sensations in your body or any urge to release the posture, listen to that intuitive wisdom within yourself and come out of the posture and into a savasana, a supine position laying on the earth. So you have full permission to move into shavasana at any point. Begin to settle into the rhythm of your breath here. Let your breath be natural and completely effortless. And let your body become more and more effortless with each moment. Settling into the exhalation. Feeling the letting go, the releasing, the emptying out. Allowing yourself to empty of all of the different layers, labels, and pressures that you might put upon yourself. All of the different hats that you wear. You might imagine with each exhale you're peeling back a layer or releasing one of those different hats that you wear. And with each exhale, you're releasing long-held tension in the body. Could you completely relax the jaw, the tongue, all the way down to the root of the tongue? Relaxing into all of the muscles behind the eyes. Eyes relaxing back and down. All of the muscles of the forehead, the temples, and the entire scalp. Allowing the muscle of the mind to relax, open. Relaxing from the world of thinking, analyzing. Relaxing back into simply being, sensing. Feeling your whole body resting deeply. Relaxing into the palms and the fingers. All 10 toes. Letting the pelvis be heavy and the legs completely effortless. Each exhale releasing a layer. Each exhale releasing any of the layers of social conditioning, the pressures, releasing each layer one by one, so that you might rest back into your true nature, your essential nature, resting into presence. Resting into that which you already are. The intelligence of life itself and the whole universe, completely interconnected. Just resting back into that essential nature, the wholeness. You might invite the mantra, so hum. I am all that there is. The inhaling so, exhaling hum. And begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes. You might nod the head from side to side. You might stretch out the arms or reach the arms and rotate the ankles, the wrists simultaneously, or just simply moving the feet a little bit as you roll out the wrists, just slowly waking the body up. And if you've got a covering on the eyes, just keep the eyes closed as you remove that eye covering, and then place your hands gently on top of the eyes. Just giving a couple of moments for the eyes to start to adjust to any light beyond the eyelids. You might start to flutter the eyes open a little bit. And then removing that eye covering. And we'll come to rest on the side for a moment. So you might start with loosening or releasing the strap. And if you've got a pillow or a folded blanket, as you bring the legs over to one side, you might place that between the knees to come to a fetal position. And just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Notice how you feel. One more deep breath. And you might like to linger here for a few more moments, or you might like to come to a Shavasana position and prepare for a Yoga Nidra. I'll post some links to a couple of different Yoga Nidras below, or you can begin to press yourself up. to a comfortable seated position. And coming to that comfortable seat or resting in Shavasana, just taking a moment to honor this phase of that dormant seed or the deepest depths of the wintertime hibernation, the darkest phase of deep rest. And these cycles within both the year and the seasons, but also in the lunar cycle, are so important to tune into, especially in a world that is all about pushing and striving and doing more and achieving. And really, it's a recipe for disease and burnout and so many problems that we have in our society. It disrupts our sleep. There are so many things. So tuning into these phases that are already happening in the natural cycle is so important for us as biological creatures on this planet, tuning into our own biology, right? So taking this time to really let yourself be empty, to be that void, to be that fertile soil in the depths of winter from which new life, new energy, vitality can spring forth from. So let's take a moment to just honor this phase of the new moon and that depth of turning inward, of rest, of doing less, of doing nothing if we can. So gathering hands at the heart center, taking a deep breath in through the nose, and let yourself just empty out on the exhale. Nothing to do. Inhale and let it go. One more time. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope that you'll join Tiina tomorrow for the next restorative practice. This is part of our 5-day restorative immersion that we're hosting here on YouTube together over this new moon phase. And we're really excited about sharing this with you. And of course, we're preparing for our next online restorative teacher training. If you want to dive really, really deep into this stuff, you don't necessarily need to be a yoga teacher to go into this immersion. Sometimes we have people who want to just take it for their own practice, to learn more about how restorative yoga affects the nervous system, or people that really want to dive into some of the wisdom behind the lunar cycles that we bring into the restorative yoga practice. But yes, I'll post some links below if you're interested to learn more about that. And I'll post a link to Yoga Nidra here if you'd like to rest back into Nidra at this time, and a link to Tiina's channel so that you can practice with her tomorrow. Okay, and if you're finding this at a time that we're not doing the challenge, look for the links below. You'll find all of the different practices and you can move through all 5 days with us. Okay, thank you for being here. Namaste. I'll see you in the next one.